This is Bruce Temkin, and I am so excited to be introducing the Customer Experience Institute, CX Institute for short. Think of it as the online customer experience training for your entire organization. Let me get to the most important question first, which is why. Why is Temkin Group introducing the CX Institute? Let me share with you the situation that we see. We work with lots of large companies around the world that are trying to become more customer-centric. And in order to do that, they have to go through some transformational journey where they're changing how their organization operates. What we found, though, is that organizational transformation efforts often stall because employees don't recognize their role in delivering great customer experience, and they don't have a customer-centric mindset. But we have the solution. CX Institute's training provides large groups of employees with an understanding of customer experience that drives a customer-centric mindset. What we found is that the customer experience that an organization delivers is a reflection of your culture and your operating processes. What that really means is that customer experience is the output of how all of your employees think, believe, and act. And this training is to help them get the mindset and the understanding to drive towards becoming a customer-centric organization. So what exactly is the CX Institute? We consider the CX Institute the gold standard for self-paced customer experience learning. We've invested a lot of time and energy to develop a training platform that you will be proud to put in front of your employees. It provides the employees with the knowledge, skills, and mindset to become a customer-centric organization. It's not meant for just the customer experience professionals in your organization or those people who understand. It's really meant for the hundreds of thousands of employees across your organization who need to have a different point of view around customer experience, even though they may not know anything about customer experience today. The training combines Temkin Group's deep expertise in creating customer-centric organizations with leading-edge e-learning techniques to engage all employees. So we've worked with this content and understand what resonates with employees, and now we've partnered with an e-learning development organization to create a world-class training experience that will drive your organization forward by engaging almost all of the employees within your organization. So what are the goals for the CX Institute? Well, Temkin Group wants to help organizations drive change and become more customer-centric. That's our focus. That's what we do. And we believe that this is a platform that will really help companies that want to transform create the conditions of success for that transformation. Organizations go through transformation need all employees to gain new understandings and develop a change in mindset. So with this training, executives will understand what it takes to become customer-centric. Middle managers will understand their role in driving change. And quite frankly, all employees need to understand that customer experience is everyone's business. Not just everyone's business, but all employees need to understand that customer experience is important for their organization's success, and they need to recognize that they play a role in driving that success. In the past, Temkin Group's in-person workshops have been enormously successful. We've been able to drive change and help organizations, dozens of employees at a time. But this platform, the CX Institute, allows that training to scale across large organizations. You can train a larger number. You can train them cheaper. You can train them faster. And so the CX Institute provides what I think is really a transformational backbone for your entire workforce. So what are the CX Institute's offerings? We have two broad offerings. The first is corporate training. Corporate training allows you to license this training for hundreds of thousands of users. You can use our SCORM-compatible e-learning modules alongside other training modules in your learning management system. Now, if you're not in learning development, some of those words might have sounded like gobbledygook. Let me just explain it this way. We've developed our training modules to be compatible with industry standards, which means if you have a platform in your company that you use for training employees today, you can take our training modules and just plug it in and then deploy it across your workforce. Now, if you don't have a learning management system or you don't want to use yours, then you can configure learning journeys that combine our e-learning modules with other relevant content on our hosted LMS platform. You can use our platform and administer it from your desktop. And the other types of things that you can blend into what we call a learning journey besides our training modules are maybe a video from your CEO saying how important customer experience is, a link to your CX intranet site, or maybe even a recent presentation that you've done about what's going on in customer experience across your organization. The collection of things that you think are important for employees to understand about customer experience in your organization. Now, the second way to access our training is through individual training. This is really simple. Individuals can purchase access to different learning journeys, just show up at our site, put in a credit card, and start learning right away. We currently have 2 learning journeys available. One is Customer Experience Foundations. The other is Creating a Customer-Centric Culture. We'll be adding additional learning journeys over time, and you can go to our site to find out more details about each one of those learning journeys. Now, as I mentioned, we really used a lot of leading-edge e-learning techniques in our training. I don't want to give you a little bits of it, give you a sense of what it looks like. This is the opening page for our 2 e-learning modules, Customer Experience Foundations and Creating a Customer-Centric Culture. They share a lot of similar traits because the design of the experience and the interactivity across the training is similar across both. So let's look at some of those elements. To begin with, we use real-world scenarios so that learners can look at something that resonates with them and then think about it and consider it in their environment. So we ask questions about scenarios between customers and employees, between customers and customers, and this forms the foundation of how a learner can visualize the concepts that we're trying to get across. We use real-time feedback on the learner's judgment. We ask questions. We tell them what's right. Yeah, you're right. Great job. If it's not quite right, we explain why their answer might not have been the right one for that situation, which allows them to really correct their learning and adjust their thinking in real time. We also, across the modules, allow for the learner to dig deeper into key topics. So what you're seeing here, I think on the left there, is our 5 Ps of purposeful leadership, and you can see we're digging deeper into one of those Ps, persuasive. This really allows the learner to have lots of opportunity, not just to understand broadly what customer experience is about, what it means to them, why it's important, but really understand in depth some of the really important concepts. And so a learner can learn by going through the training very quickly, but also it's a wonderful tool for them to go back and dig deeper and understand some of the elements that they may have missed the first time around. Now, at the end of every section, we have a test that tests the knowledge of the things they just recently learned, and that's to make sure that we're reinforcing their learning as soon as they've gone through the training. So each section ends, and then we ask questions that help that learner think back and crystallize what they had just learned. And then because we also think about our training holistically, not just section by section, at the end of each of the training modules, there's a 10-question quiz, and the purpose of that is to reinforce all of the learning that they had from the modules. And because we want to make sure that our learners actually take what they've learned and do something different and change their behaviors or apply it in some way that will help the organization become more customer-centric, we actually have the ability for the learner throughout the training to put ideas around how they are going to apply what they've learned. So each section or in subsections, we'll ask them to say, based on what you've learned, what changes or actions do you think you can make or should make? And then at the end of the training, they can print out their personal action plan, which is the collection of ideas that they came up with through the training. So because this is a recorded webinar, I get to choose the questions that I think that you have, or more realistically, I'm choosing the questions that I want to answer. So here are some questions that I thought would be relevant for understanding the CX Institute. The first is, will this training be valuable for people who are not in the CX field? Absolutely. That's really the focus of this training. This training is for training people about customer experience who may know nothing about customer experience, because the people who create the experience, who create a customer-centric culture, almost all of them know nothing about customer experience. They're doing their day jobs. So what we do is provide training so that they have the skills and mindset to bring to their day jobs to create a customer-centric organization. The second question, why do so many employees need to be trained on CX? Well, customer experience is based on all employees' actions and behaviors. If you buy into that, and hopefully you do, if not, our blog is full of insights to explain why, but at the end of the day, if all of your employees ultimately or collectively are creating the customer experience, then if we want to create something that we can sustain, create sustainably great customer experience, then we really need to affect the mindset and behaviors of all employees. And that's really what the CX Institute training is all about. Will this training be valuable for CX professionals? I think in many cases it will be. We don't go into the depth of skills that we do in some of our other training that is meant more for CX professionals, but I think this training will help CX professionals either crystallize their knowledge of customer experience, have them think differently, or may even introduce an entirely new area of thought around customer experience that they hadn't really been thinking about in the past. The next question is, will I receive any certifications with the training? Absolutely. There is a customized certificate of expertise that you will be able to print out after you complete the module, and it's a certificate of expertise that's particular to the training you just had. So you can get those certificates for any of the modules that you go through. The last question I put on here is, what's the relationship between CX Institute and Temkin Group? Well, Temkin Group actually is the content provider and actually the runner of the owner and operator of the CX Institute. So you will see a lot of the Temkin Group names associated with driving the CX Institute forward. So think of it as a division of Temkin Group. Hopefully you've heard enough that you want to find out more. So how can you find out more about the CX Institute? Well, there are a couple ways. First of all, visit our website, cxinstitute.com. Let me say that again, cxinstitute.com. If you go to the site, you can read more about the CX Institute. You can see the details of our e-learning modules, and you can purchase access to individual training, as I mentioned earlier. The second way is send us an email at info@cxinstitute.com, where you can request information about our corporate offerings or ask questions that haven't been answered on the website. So the bottom line here is, if your employees need the skills and mindset to become customer-centric, then contact CX Institute. It's a unique platform for training all employees about what it takes to be customer-centric and what they need to do, how they need to think about customer experience to help your transformational efforts succeed. So I hope you're as excited as I am about the CX Institute. Please come visit us.